Okay. So while I was at this event today, this garage sale,
Right.
I don't usually pay attention to this stuff. But I walked around the room and I saw a thing on the table and I was like, oh, that's funny that Erin's got a book about Sinbad's advice on comedy. She had a book that was like the comedy Bible, advice from, it's a Jerry Seinfeld, Paul Reiser, George Carlin, George Wallace. I just like rattle off. What's that?
Unfortunately, it's called Comedy Insights.
Comedy Insights. And on the cover, it's just like this 2-column list of people. And I swear to God, every single person on that list is, you can let it go. And then just like right in the middle of it, it just says Sinbad. And I was like, that's kind of funny because it kind of makes Sinbad feel like a contest winner, like after all this time. And I took an Instagram picture of it, and I was like, I was gonna make this tweet where I'm like, I don't know what my tweet was gonna be, like, fuck Sinbad, let's just sum it up like that. And I went and sat over there. There was a chair there. It was one of my chairs that hadn't been sold yet. And I sat there in the chair, and I started to engineer this Instagram/tweet. And I was about to fire off, and this wave came over me that we all call deja vu, which I wanted to talk about a little bit. Because I suddenly had this incredible sense. Sometimes you get deja vu where you're kind of standing in a kitchen and like, I could swear I had this conversation before.
I had a huge one today. I had a deja vu that went on for like 3 minutes, it seemed like. I get deja vu a lot.
I was filled with you get little ones where you're like, I feel like I've been in this kitchen talking to this hipster about the fact that the government's bullshit. Like how do you know that didn't happen already? I mean, you've been high for 2 weeks. Like it probably did happen. I was sitting in this chair in this weird everything was such a freaky thing. The concept of deja vu. I'm not a spiritually. I'm a spiritual person. I believe in some kind of relationship with the unknown. I choose to personify the unknown. I choose to have a relationship with the things I don't understand. Otherwise, I'm going to go into a McDonald's with a machine gun, and but that's something I choose, and it doesn't. That has nothing to do with evidence. I'm not Fox Mulder. I choose precisely the opposite.
But we will use this particular episode of this podcast as evidence when you do kill people.
Go ahead, I'll be dead. I mean, guarantee you, when I kill all of you, I'm going to do it in a way that takes me out too.
Good.
Thank you. So I have more respect than my predecessors.
Weird thing to cheer for, but all right.
No, they know. I want to be killed by a guy who has the balls to kill himself. I respect that. Too soon? Too close? Too far? I don't know. Too possible? Too something. Okay.
Too plausible.
Fine. Speaking of too everything, Anatoly's wearing a Christmas wreath on his head. There's a young lady behind you. I guess she can see me. I don't know.
I said earlier, he's dressed as Puck from Midsummer Night's Dream for some reason.
He's dressed as Puck from Midsummer Night's Dream in Dead Poets Society. The kid who killed himself.
Oh, Neil! My boy!
Can you fly, Bobby?
Kurtwood Smith shout-outs.
All right, anyways. What was I talking about?
You're talking about, I don't know. About killing everybody. Deja vu.
Deja vu.
I wasn't going to drink, but I'm going to crack open this Raphael's Funebra.
I could have sworn to God. This is just like... I was filled with the sensation that if I had clicked send... or tweet, or whatever the button says. Okay, you gotcha.
You gotcha.
GoPro, whatever it says.
Are you
Teddy bear. I don't know what.
Are you in a Samsung?
Did you say Samsung?
You got your Samsung, right?
You gotcha Samsung. Well, that's what the button says.
You gotcha.
I was absolutely convinced that if I did it, I was going to die. And I didn't do it. I was... There's no, you don't have to clap. It really doesn't... That's
Wait,
not...
because you're having deja vu?
Because the deja vu was that convincing. I was actually that convinced that I was living in some weird nexus of time and space. That and then part of my memory of sitting when I was sitting there and I was looking this way and I was looking at an image of like a bunch of weird shit on a table that was like a weird garage sale thing, and I was looking at like a tweet that I was about to click send on, and I had this sudden sense, I had this memory of like a dream that I had when I was a kid of that image, which I didn't understand at the time, because obviously there was this space didn't exist. So I was remembering a memory that I remembered having when I was younger of this same space, but I also remembered not understanding what any of it meant, but I also remembered that I was about to click send on something on this device in my hand, which in my memory didn't make any sense because it didn't exist in my childhood, but that when I clicked send, I was going to die. So I didn't click send. So the question is Sinbad's publicist God?
No.
Which would explain his presence on the cover of that book. I think Sinbad is the universal contest winner.
I used to have deja vu twice a day, every day for a long time, and deja vus that went on for a long, long time, and so I had to look into it. And I've heard it explained as it's an iron deficiency. So
I need to eat more iron, like more
spinach and shit.
Spinach.
Yeah. Although spinach, the reason why Popeye eats spinach, the reason why people think spinach is iron like heavy, it was a typo. There was
it was supposed to be Spanish.
There was some like early, like I don't know what year it was, but there was something where they like early days of the FDA, but before that. They typed up how much iron spinach had in it, and there was a typo of a decimal point, and it made it seem like spinach had like zillions of percentage points of iron. It doesn't. It doesn't have more iron than most green vegetables. It was just a typo and a thing, but that got lots of press, and that's why Popeye they ate lots of spinach. But back to my point. It was explained to me that deja vus, because I have so many of them. When I have them, I've been here and I can predict the future. Like the guy's gonna walk in. Oh shit, there's the guy. And think of no. You're seeing a guy walk in, but your synapses are firing twice. It's like
a hiccup.
It's a multiple.
So it feels like your brain is folding. But here's the fucking.
But when the synapse fires the second time, it's sensing it for the first time, and the first time it happens. It's been stored as subconscious memory, which doesn't have a date stamp on it.
That's the great. That's it. That's what's happened. That's what happened.
Yeah.
It felt like I was like 8 years old and dreamt it.
And you're going into a drawer in your subconscious mind that has no date stamp. It's just this weird like grab bag of stuff that it feels like a dream, a childhood memory. It happened a split second before, or a nanosecond.
So your entire life is like your mom's rubber stamp collection.
Tell me more about this.
My mom collects rubber stamps. She's got a snowflake for Christmas. She can bring it out every Christmas, but if she chooses to, she can bring it out for Mother's Day. She doesn't give a fuck. It's whatever you dip into ink, and it's just like fucking stamps. Your brain has stamps, and it just goes.
But you used a royal we on that one.
Okay, my mom's crazy and has a rubber stamp collection. I'm saying your brain is it's origami. It can fold in on itself. Our perception of reality is based on, oh, this happened and then this happened. But we, in those fleeting moments, we can feel like something happened an indeterminate time ago.
Yeah.
And if you killed somebody...
Here we go again.
If you killed somebody and then someone came up behind you and hit you in the head with a shovel... And then you woke up in a hospital bed, and somehow the person you killed tumbled down a ditch, and they fell into a tar pit, and they sank, and they didn't have family, and no one cared. Let's just say. And they were a babysitter that you got on Craigslist, and you looked into it. No one knew she was at your house that night. And you were in the Lower Bay area, and it's filled with tar. I'm doing a bit on the side.
Are you planning a murder?
Saying theoretically, you hit someone in the head with a shovel, they tumble down a pit into a tar pit, they sink down. You at the same time, your friend comes up behind you and goes like, "What are you doing? You're missing the party." And they've got such a static charge on their feet that when they touch your shoulder, you get amnesia. This is a theoretical construct for the purposes of an existential. Do you understand? If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, I'm saying one of these.
What the fuck is going on? This is all in Forrest Gump, the book, right?
So you wake up in a hospital. You don't remember this person who fell into a tar pit. No one else does.
That you killed.
You never remember that you did it.
Why? Because the guy.
Because your brain stopped working. Because of the static amnesia. Do I really have to, do I have to be such a fucking sci-fi wizard that I have to construct like a device, a helmet that comes over your head? I'm saying if you don't remember, while you're not remembering, that person stops existing, so you don't remember yourself. So you wake up in a world where you killed this person, but you don't remember that you did it, and no one ever knows that you did it. So you're just walking around, you're at the water cooler like, "Hey, Gladys, whoa, how about those Packers? Don't go there." And you're like getting mad too. You would be getting mad about someone would go, "Hey, did you hear Steve cheated on the billiards pool?" Or whatever the fucking office, I don't know what these office people talk about. And you'd be like, he did what? That's not fucking cool. He shouldn't do that. You'd be mad.
I'm mad. I have no idea what's going on.
This is the human condition. If you don't remember, where's this guy going? He's got to take that bad of shit. All right, that's fine. I don't mean to shame you. I'm not trying to shame you.
I met this woman. Her name is Alice Flaherty. She's a famous crazy doctor from Harvard.
From made up name world. Alice Flaherty.
Alice Flaherty. You can look her up, and she's.
Okay, let's all look her up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Alice Flaherty.
Harvard. I think she's the chief chair of neurology there, and she teaches at Harvard. She's the head of neurology at Boston General, I think. And I met her, and she's tiny little gal, and she walks on the tip of her toes, and she's hypergraphic, and she writes down everything she thinks about. I read about her, and I met her, and I said something about I was telling some story, and she wrote it down on her arm, and I said, "Will you pull up your sleeve?" And she was like, "Really?" She pulled her sleeve up, and she had writing all up her arm, and she's hypergraphic. She has crayons, like a certain kind of crayon that she can write in the shower. Her shower in her place is nothing but writing, and her ceilings in her house are a bunch of bulletin boards hung next to each other, so she can put Post-it notes on it to create more surface area. She's hypergraphic, and she is a walking CAT scan, and she can walk into a room full of people, and she can see something going on with people, and she goes like, "Wait, did you ever go scuba diving?" Well, yeah. Okay, you have temperature reversal. You touched a certain kind of coral, and she just reads people's minds and stuff like that. And I was telling a story about how I fainted once, and she goes, "Wait, what?" She overheard me. I wasn't telling it to her. I was telling somebody else. She goes, "You fainted once?" How old were you? I go, 22 or 3. She goes, "Had you just peed?" And I said, "Yeah, I had just peed." She goes, "Oh, thank God," and walked away. I said,
"Thank God!" She just left you with that. You've been emailing her ever since. What did you mean?
I did a pilot for a TV show that never aired for I think a TBS or something, and it was about her, about another crazy doctor, but she's for real, and she's wonderfully brilliant. There was an actor in a scene where I was playing a neurologist, and an actor was brought in on a gurney, and he had he was having a brainstem herniation. There was a farmer, and this is based on a real thing, had touched a electrified fence, and he had a pacemaker, and it gave him a brainstem herniation, whatever that is. And so she was there with a bunch of other, like, there's a cast, crew, lighting people, doctors.
They all got it?
No.
Oh, sorry.
We're all in a hospital room, in a working hospital where they shoot like Grey's Anatomy, which is like next to a real hospital. And she was talking to this actor who's a really good, like, you know, like maybe like late 50s, early 60s actor, laying on a gurney. And she goes, okay, what would happen in this? You'd be on your back, and your back would be arched, and your toes would be pointed and like arched and pointed together, and your teeth would be gritted, and you'd be screaming gibberish. And so she goes, try that. And so the actor goes, "Arr!" And he does it, and she goes, oh, God, I want to cut your brain up, and I want to just want to... Because she explained to me later on, she's like, neurologists we're not like therapists.
We're werewolves.
We're zombies. No. We're zombies. We want brains. Like your brain is a crossword puzzle, and we just want to figure it out. She's like your brain is so fascinating. She's like, Jeff, when you talk and you do this with your hands, she goes, do you have, like, she would say, when you wake up in the morning, do you do this? I go, yeah. She goes, yeah, because it's the way you, like, everything you do with your hands, she can explain your whole life to you. It's really weird. So this actor's on his back, and he's doing it perfectly. She goes, then there's a point when you go into a certain kind of, like, severe, like, seizure. And what would happen is your back would go all the way up off the gurney, and your eyes would go straight down to where we couldn't even see your irises. It would just be white, but your eyes are looking straight down. So look down as far as you can. So the guy's doing it. I'm standing right next to him because I'm in the scene. His eyes go straight down, but they're only like half, like you can still see half of his iris. And she goes, no, like look all the way down.
Yeah, I can't even do it. I'm trying to do it, and I can't do it.
And she goes, and so this Alice Flaherty, so, you know, she's like 4'11", you know, like she's like, you can't look any further down than that. And the actor's like, I'm looking down as far as I can. She goes, and just 25 people in the room.
And she goes, you have 7 weeks.
Even weirder. Way weirder. She looks at him, and I'm sitting right next to her and looking down at this actor on the gurney. And she goes, you can't look any farther down than that? She goes, and he goes, I'm looking as far down as I can. And she goes, when you were like really little, maybe like 4 or 5 or 6 years old, somebody fell. And you were looking down on it, but you don't want to look down anymore. What would you remember that? And the guy goes, I have no idea what you're talking.
So this was a CW show.
No. This was for real.
Okay, all right.
It was for real.
All right.
And it's for everyone, and also some of the people in the room are actual medical, the people that are consultants that like are there to make sure that you're doing it right in a hospital setting. And everybody goes fucking silent, and she goes, now look down, and his eyes go all the way down.
Because he...
and then she goes, I want to talk to you later about that. And everybody, like, all the fucking hair on the back of my neck stood up. And I talked to her later, and she goes, the brain is this thing that if you touch it, it feels like toothpaste. It's this weird mass of goop in our heads, and we'll never understand it. But she can walk into a room and go like, you went scuba diving once. And we made a bad pilot.
Yeah, she wasn't able to like your eyes are looking at the TV. What are you seeing? American Idol. They're able to look away. What are you watching? Weird crap with no explanation.
I have to say the coda to this is amazing. It's like we did this thing, and she's like, you guys are like, you actors. She goes, it's so funny. It's like, you're the worst neurologists in the world. You are not doing it right. I was like, why? She said, because neurologists, we're bad with people. We only want to solve the puzzle of the human brain. We're not good with human interaction. But you guys, you come into a scene and you touch the other actor who's going through this thing. You walk in and you put your hand on the shoulder, you smile. And she's like, we know that you can reverse engineer happiness by smiling. You can actually tell people, like, raise your cheeks up, and it actually creates joy. Like, you can reverse engineer happiness through faking smiles. She's like, we know that, but we're bad at it. So she wrote an article about how actors taught her to be a better neurologist. And so there's a picture of me in the Harvard Medical Journal.
All right. Let's bring out my betrothed, Erin McGathy, who... I wanted to bring you out because I feel like you helped out a little bit in today's charity
Dan, you did most of the lifting today.
Yeah, I mean, I was the reason why everything happened today. No, I'm kidding. Aaron is absolutely the. I wish I could show everybody a slideshow of all the times Aaron tried to make me lift a finger for any of this, and I reminded her of the deal we had from the get-go, which was...
You did a lot.
You do whatever you want. I will show up on Sunday, but if at any point you ask me to do anything, I am going to yell at you and be mean to you. And I held to that because I'm a hero.
No, you sell yourself short. You were great. You did a lot. May I share my favorite theory about deja vu, which I think is one of the more popular theories about why deja vu happens, is that your brain is simply mistaking the present for the past, meaning that like there's something that goes wrong in your brain, and often like people experience deja vu before seizures.
Did you just put the goocher on me?
I'm saying, can we all just watch Jeff with spoons in our pockets? I'm joking. It's all time because people used to put spoons in people's mouths, seizures. Anyway, but the idea that your brain, it's just like a neurological misfire. The idea that your brain can actually be like, no, this happened before, but it's the idea that we have a condition in our brain that says.
Yeah, I think it's what Jeff was describing. It's sort of like the engine's kind of like it's a backfire. Like when your muffler like goes pop, it's because like something's happening with the pistons. Your engine is going. That's the insane thing, is that like our brains are designed to go down these railroad tracks that we take for granted happen at a slat, but there's absolutely no reason why a brain on a railroad track can't, for instance, just go backward. If, for instance, the entire railroad track should decide to fold in half. So something that has more power over the railroad than the people who built their little railroads. Like, for instance, the God that created the entire planet, the force of gravity. It's so, to me, I've never had a deja vu that wasn't filled with an absolute sense of dread. I didn't click send. After the deja vu was over, I declined to click send on a Sinbad bashing Instagram because I was so convinced that I had been about to click send on this Sinbad bashing that I was certain that when I clicked send, I was going to die.
Iron deficiency.
I just need to eat more Geritol.